Hi guys, and welcome again to RTX Pinball. Today we're going to be going over the top 10 games you should not buy during the sale, or really ever. Lots of games in here. There's 249 games currently on the Atgames 4KP. Last time I gave you the top 10 games to buy. These are again going to be considered games that are not the Zen tables. I will give you some honorable mentions that are Zen tables at the end to not purchase. But we're going to go through the ones that are currently on sale and which ones you should not buy at all right now. All right, let's start with number 10. Magic Castle Deluxe. Magic Castle Deluxe right now, as cool as this game is, there's actually a bug in it. It's currently going to be patched, and it has not been patched as of yet. And while this looks like a really cool temu Game of Thrones kind of game, when it does get patched, it will be viable and will be a good game to play, but right now it is absolute garbage. The spot where you go up to the upper playfield is completely unreachable, and this dragon right here will swallow the ball and take the ball up to the upper playfield. Currently this game is not even playable to its full extent, and I absolutely do not recommend it. The only possibility it might be worth it is if you buy it with the idea knowing that you're not going to touch it for a while. It's already been 2 months since it's been fixed, since it's been patched. It was released and has not been working really from day one. So it was discovered pretty quickly that this game is broken, and so they have said that they're going to patch it. I have good authority that it's going to be patched soon, but it is not patched as of yet. So definitely keep this one in the back of your mind as one that is not patched yet, but may very well come back as a possibility. All right, number 9. This one has been broken forever and probably will never get a patch. We are talking about Chack N Pop. Now this one, cutesy theme, really wonderful soundtrack, has kind of a Pac-Man vibe, so that's a little misleading, but this one has a scoring bug. There's these drop targets up here, and if under certain conditions, these drop targets will not pop back up, and they are the bulk of the scoring for the entire table. I know Tomato Grass went through it in detail in one of his streams on how to avoid that, but it's a very strict level of conditions. It's something about the slingshots have to be in a certain order, and then if you happen to hit all 5 of the drop targets under those conditions, they will not pop back up, and you cannot continue scoring lots of points on that particular ball. Once you lose the ball, you'll be able to get it back, and those drop targets will come up, but under those conditions, this game is not working under those conditions at all. So that's another one I would not recommend at this time. Number 8. We're going to go with BoneBusters. BoneBusters is a Farsight game. This is one of the Gottlieb tables that we got. These were in large packs before, and some of these are really good games. I definitely recommended Black Hole. Haunted House is pretty good. Cue Ball Wizard's really good. This one is okay game, but visually it is an absolute mess. It's really hard to figure out what's going on. There's this upper flipper requires you to use one of the nudge buttons, which is actually a nudge as well at the same time. So if you try to actuate that flipper too much, you're going to tilt yourself. It's really wacky. I just don't recommend it. It's really hard to see. There's no definition whatsoever between the back glass or the playfield from what's above and what's below. It's really hard to see. It just doesn't do a really good job of translating to the two-dimensional space, and this one I just do not recommend. Number 7, staying with a theme here, going back to the C's. Now this one is Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat. So I think it's actually under Dr. Seuss. Where is this one? Oh, you know what? It's under T, which is a terrible thing. Now that I think about it, it's actually under the Cat in the Hat. Terrible. That's reason alone right there just to not buy it. The Cat in the Hat. So while this might be one of the best Dr. Seuss themes or IPs, if you will, it is one of the worst games in the Dr. Seuss series. The only ones I would recommend in the Dr. Seuss series are Fox and Socks, ABC, and The Grinch. And those are all really, really good games. So if you really want to piecemeal the ones that are good, get those ones. The Cat in the Hat is absolutely terrible. It has this weird slide whistle thing that continues to happen again and again and again. It slows down the game big time. This whole upper side of the playfield here is never used until the very last couple of modes, where you're scrambling to put the toys back in place before the parents get home. It is an absolute abomination. Although I really love the way the marble, or the ball, it looks like a marble, it has stripes and stuff on it, and the chrome and the red looks really, really cool. Sadly, this one is just not recommended. It's not that great of a game. Alright, so number 6. We're going to go back to the C's. For some of these award tables are quite terrible. This is probably one of the worst. This is Caveman. Caveman. A terrible theme, terrible artwork. It has this weird plunge that goes right and loops right towards the center of the playfield. Skull bumpers, things that Tomato Grass mentioned. This is his absolute most hideous, hated table of all of them. It plays well, but it's got such a weird theming and just it looks depressing. I mean, this guy he's really sad. He doesn't want to be played anyway. Just leave him alone. Do not buy this one, even for $4. It's just not worth it. They should be paying you $4 to play this game. All right, next up. El Dorado, City of Gold. This is another Gottlieb table. And this is another one with terribly horrible floaty physics. And look at this playfield. This thing is an absolute mess. Again, definition of playfield to background to playfield is really hard to make out. This is actually a set of bank targets, but you really can't tell that they're raised up. This pop bumper's raised up. There's a triangle here that's raised up. Yes, you could play it and figure it out. But the physics are so poor and so floaty that it's a really tough one to stomach, even for something like Flipper Friends. So just pass it up. I don't think this one's worth getting. There's a lot that are, as I mentioned, but this one definitely put a pass on. All right, number 4. And why are they all in the front? It's pretty funny how this is working out. We're going to talk about Beastmaster. Where are you at? Pixel Beastmaster. So this is another award table. Some of these award tables are pretty good. The Mummy, pretty good. Speed Kings, pretty good. I like that one. Wizard isn't too bad. So there is some good award tables, but not all of them. This one, looking at the playfield, you're like, this does look familiar, right? It's because it is. This is kind of a scrunched down version of Genie. If you look at the playfield real close, you're going to be like, oh, now I get it. This is basically Genie and maybe a little bit different graphic format, but it's basically Genie, and it's not that good. If you want to get the real game, just buy Genie. It's the same price, and I think you're going to have a much better time. Yes, Genie has floaty physics as well, but this is just that. So let's look at Genie just as a quick comparison, and I'll give you the why they are so similar. There is actually Genie. So again, triple flippers. You can't see them underneath the wheel here. There's the third. This section here, the upper playfield. It's basically the exact same game. Just get Genie. Be happy. This one's the better version, certainly. Yes, it has the floatier physics, but it's gonna feel more like Genie did in the real world. Genie is a wide body table, so it's a little scrunched as well. The angle was not set particularly high, so it's slower gameplay as well. So just know that's a thing. So stay away from Beastmaster. This next one, Goin Nuts. Goin Nuts. Okay, so this is a prototype game that was never actually created in real life, and there's probably a reason for that. It starts off with a multi-ball, which would have said is great for kids eventually one upon a time, because it starts right off in that. Now there's alternatives to that. You can get Space Invaders, you can get Bubble Bobble, you can get Operation Wolf. Those are all much better games. All three of those have crashing issues, but they're perfect for kids. You just keep plunging, you keep plunging, you keep plunging, you keep balls going. There is a lot of, it's very easy to get a multi-ball in those games. This game is strictly multi-ball. Again, floaty physics, pretty slow gameplay in general, and it's just not going to be sustainable. There's no, this game is strictly multi-ball. There's no modes, there's no nothing. So this is one I would definitely stay away from. But anyway, there's that. Next up, this is going to be a whole group of games. So, let me warn you up front here. Primal Carnage. This entire series is not great. So this is Primal Carnage, the solid state game. This one is pretty dull. It plays well. It does say, God damn it. So if that matters to you, it is considered an AMA title for that reason. It is what it is. It's not that good. It has an option where you can either be the dinosaurs or the humans, but it's pretty anticlimactic. You get through the entire mode, which takes quite a bit of time. You get 50,000 points, and it flips and just does the other one. There's really not much to it. It's pretty sad. Primal Carnage Deluxe, again, looks pretty cool. It's got first of all, the back glass is abysmal, but the gameplay itself looks pretty cool. You have dinosaurs, and you're thinking, oh, this is the one to get. No, we have lots of other dinosaur games that are better. Get Dinosaur Dynasty 2. Get Dinosaur Dynasty 1. Get any of the Jurassic Park games. They're all better than this. This one in particular, the upper playfields are fine, but the biggest problem with this one is these two capture holes. They do not fire out correctly. This one will throw it right down the center, and this one will actually throw the ball way over here on a weird angle that's not even possible. So that's a bug that's never been fixed. Also on the ball too, there's something called a cataclysmic event, whereas if you do not hit a series of targets within a time frame, you lose the ball completely. It happens every game. Ball 2 is always that way. So the only thing you can do is on the first ball, if you get enough points and you actually disable the catastrophic event, you can continue that. But even with that, these two capture holes, a big no-no. Do not get this game. And lastly, Primal Carnage Retro. Now, there's a few people who actually like this game, but honestly, I just don't think there's enough to it to warrant a purchase. There's so many other good tables. I mentioned Top Hand. There's quite a few good games that are in this same era that would be much better. It's okay. The only retro table that I can really recommend is Zankor Retro. And so that takes us to number 1. So let's go to Zankor Retro. I'll show you this one. Now this is the only retro table that I'll recommend. While it is very different, very quirky, it is the only retro table on the entire library of games that were of these created retro tables, these retro remakes, or demakes if you will, that it's any good. This one's not too bad. It actually has some really good stuff. So this one I would still purchase. It's the only one that I would though, however. Every other retro table for this entire platform, they're not good. I don't recommend them. You can actually buy them on Steam for a whopping $1.27. So that's like 27 games for $1.27. So it tells you a little bit about what they're like. They're not good tables. You can go to basically any game, any IP in here. Zombie's another bad one. But at any rate, if you go to any of these, see, this is another retro table. These are awful, every single one of them. House of Diamonds is particularly bad. Black Belt, I really like the Black Belt series, but the retro tables are not good. If you go to Circus Retro, again, not that good. None of them are good. So even if you like retro tables, there are better options. Definitely shop around. We've mentioned a few of them. Okay, a couple of honorable mentions here. I want to point out some that have issues that are really good games, but there's something you do need to know about them. First up is Rescue 911. This one is a great game. I love Rescue 911. However, there is a bad scoring bug in this. I think if you get over 4, yeah, right here on the back glass, you'll see Mad Ben Han. That is about the highest score you can get on this table, and it will crash on you. And so, if under certain conditions, I've done it at as low as 2 billion points, that when you get into these conditions, it will crash your game and you will not record a score at all. You will be livid. I was, and it's just not fair, quite frankly. So this is one to stay away from, even though it's really a good game. Kind of sad in that regard. Next up, let's talk about another one, Wipeout. This is another really fun game, but another scoring bug. This one, if you get too high, you will crash the game again. These games require patches, and it's really hard because some of these games can be really, really fun. This one has some really good music scores to it. It has some really fun modes to it. It has the slalom and this little... there's a lot of good stuff going on with this game, but it's definitely one to stay away from if you're worried about bugs. And if you really want to score big, it's a tough one. So anyway, there's that. This last honorable mention is for an entire pack of Zen games. There's a few Zen games that are not particularly great. These are not part of the sale, but I am going to point out this pack as being something that you don't necessarily want to buy. Let's see if I can find it here. This is... the Honor and Legacy pack. Now, the Honor and Legacy pack, I want to recommend these tables, but I can't. So this pack includes a Samurai's Vengeance and Vernes Mystery Island. So we'll go back and we'll actually look at those tables real briefly. If you look in the A's, Samurai's Vengeance. Now this game, I actually really, really like this game. I'm actually 4th on the back glass, I think it is. Is it 4th? Is it still 4th? It is still 4th. However, I had a much bigger score on this, but there's a crash bug on here that needs to be fixed. This ambush hole. So this ambush hole, whether it's done within mode or not, if you get into the ambush hole and you get into those certain conditions, it will crash the game. The ball will not pop out. You cannot tilt the game to get out of the game. It just is what it is. And it's super sad. I definitely need this one to be patched. Otherwise, that's a really tough one. The other game in that pack is Vernes Mystery Island. This one's really tough too. I did a review on both of these games, but Vernes Mystery Island is incredibly compact. You'll notice because of the POV, this is your entire playfield essentially. Everything else is just fluff. There's this one little spot up here that you get to play, and everything else is just a ramp. So you're dealing with the ball within this tiny little space on the entire playfield. Very tough pack. I just do not recommend it. It is a $15 pack. Again, it's not included in this sale, but that's an honorable mention as one to just stay away from. So anyway, those are my top 10 plus a few extras. I hope you guys enjoy this sale, that you picked up the games that you wanted. Hopefully, if you took my recommendations on some of the ones that I did say to buy, that you enjoyed them. And really, let me know in the comments whether or not you like these games, if there's something in here that I'm completely wrong about, or if you absolutely think that some of these games in this list would be worth it. I think the one that has some hope, maybe, is Magic Castle Deluxe. I think that's going to be a good game, but in its current state, you cannot buy that game. Definitely wait it out. Or just buy it and tuck it away. Do not play it yet. It's just not there yet. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.